Now, what are the harmful effects of untreated or inadequately treated sewage? So, untreated sewage is a major source of groundwater and surface water pollution. As we all know, if there is no proper wastewater treatment plant, or suppose there is no any sewerage system, so obviously that sewage, if there is no proper facility to dispose of, so then obviously it will be untreated also. So it contains lots of contaminants, as we have seen in the composition of sewage, and when that untreated sewage is mixed in the it is added in the water bodies, means the surface water as river, ponds, lakes, etc., so it will cause the problem, it will create problem for aquatic animals as well as for aquatic plants also. So it will create the surface water pollution, as well as if that untreated sewage, means untreated wastewater, when it seeps down under the soil, then it will create the pollution for groundwater also. Then stagnant sewage from leaking sewer pipes sometime enters with drinking water pipes and polluted. So if sewer pipes and drinking water pipes are there in close connection, and if both pipes are leaking, then that sewer pipes, means that sewage will enter into the drinking water pipe and it will pollute that drinking water also. Then it acts as a breeding place for many disease causing organisms as mosquitoes and flies, and these mosquitoes and flies, they are the carriers of many disease causing pathogens, many disease causing microorganisms, and which leads to diseases like cholera, diarrhea, jaundice, dysentery, and so many other diseases are there. Then soaps and detergents, they contain phosphate. Yes, phosphate and nitrates, as I have told you, these two are the problematic component, these are the problematic contaminants or impurities for water bodies. So when these waste which have soaps and detergents, they released in the river and ponds, then what happens, they favor algal growth. And when algal growth is there, then algae, means algal growth means there's algae, so that algae, it will cover the whole water body surface, and it consumes a lot of oxygen, and then the oxygen level in the water decreases, and that algae competes with the aquatic plants and animals for oxygen and affect the aquatic life. So it is called algal bloom when algae covers the surface of any water body, then it's called algal bloom. So about algal bloom you will study in higher classes. And when there is lot of nutrients like phosphate and nitrate which is present in the water body, then it is called nutrient rich lake, and this process is called eutrophication. So about eutrophication also you will study in higher classes. Both eutrophication and algal blooms, both are very harmful for aquatic life. Then why should sewage be treated? So we know that amount of fresh water is declining day by day. The demand of water is increasing due to increasing population, and uh, we have seen that in many places people have to collect water for long distances, means people have to fetch water, especially women have to fetch water for long distances, and they have to stand for several hours to fulfill their water needs. And people draw out underground water from various purposes, and groundwater is not sufficiently replenished. We all know why it is not replenished. We have studied about water level depletion. So that's why water table is depleting. We know because of increasing population, because of increasing industries, agricultural activities, the water table is depleting. So because of these things, there is a need to make wastewater or sewage fit for reuse. So when we are knowing that water that population is increasing day by day, and we all need water for our all work, then obviously there is a need to conserve that water, and along with that there is very great need to make wastewater or sewage fit for reuse. Now, our next topic is wastewater treatment plant. As we know, clean water is the basic need, it is the basic requirement of all living organisms as human beings, animals, as well as for plants. But so many people are there who do not get clean drinking water and they consume dirty water which has so many disease causing organisms, so many chemicals are present, and they have to consume it because they are not getting clean water. And just because of that, when they consume that water, so many waterborne diseases as jaundice, cholera, typhoid, and these are so fatal diseases also, so they have to suffer from these diseases. So to make the drinking water available for people, for plants, for animals, wastewater has to be treated. And when it is treated, then it should be free from all impurities, from all contaminants. So the clean water that is consumed, that can be consumed, that water is called potable water. So the main aim of wastewater treatment plant for treating sewage or treating wastewater is just in order to remove all the impurities, all the contaminants from that wastewater and make it fresh, which can be consumed by living organism, or suppose it has to be disposed of in the water bodies, it will not harm the living organism present in the water bodies. So wastewater treatment plant, they are set up for cleaning the water, cleaning the wastewater, and that wastewater treatment plants are also called as sewage treatment plant. And these are the large plants, these are the large setup where wastewater is cleaned before being sent to nearest water bodies or before being reused. And it involves physical, chemical, and biological processes to remove contaminants from wastewater. So the three stages in wastewater treatment plant are as follows. First one is primary treatment or physical process. This is called physical process because in this stage we remove the physical contaminants from this sewage water. Means in this treatment, this is the first treatment, that is why it is called primary treatment. And in this we remove the physical contaminants, physical impurities, that is why it is called physical process or mechanical process also. So the wastewater which is collected from the houses, from the, it is collected from the sewer system, so it is passed through parallel bar screens. So as you can see in the diagram, this is the parallel bar screens. You can see these are the bar screens which are parallel to each other. So these are the parallel bar screens. So it removes the large objects like rags, sticks, cans, plastic packets, etc. from wastewater. Then wastewater is passed through a grinder where the solid waste, means here all that solid waste, large objects like rags, sticks, cans, plastic packets, they are removed here only. But if any solid material is present in the water, then it is sent into the grinder where the solid waste is reduced in size so that it does not clog up the plant, it does not choke the plant. Now wastewater is then allowed to enter in a grit and sand removal tank. So if in that water, in wastewater, grit and sand is also are also present, so wastewater is allowed to enter in the grit and sand removal tank. So here the speed of wastewater is reduced so that sand, grit, and pebbles, they can settle down. If speed of that water is very uh, high, in that case they will also flow along with water. That is why the speed of wastewater is reduced in order to allow the sand, grit, and pebbles to settle down. Next, wastewater then goes to a large tank which is called water clarifier. This tank is sloped towards the middle, means in the middle it is sloped just to allow the organic material like faces to settle at its bottom because they are heavy in weight, so they will settle at the bottom. And in that case it is called as sludge. So the material which settle down at the bottom, it is called as sludge, and it is removed using scrapers. Now obviously some materials will be there which will float, like oil and grease also. So these floatable impurities are called scum. So that floatable impurities as oil and grease, they are removed with the help of a skimmer. Now you can see from wastewater all type of physical waste as large objects, rags, sticks, etc., they are removed. Now solid waste is reduced in size, then grit, sand and pebbles are also removed. Now the sludge means the organic material, the facial material is also removed. Then floatable impurities like oil and grease, they are also removed from the wastewater. Now the water obtained is cleared water, and that water is called clarified water. So this is the primary treatment, that is by physical process. Now secondary treatment or biological process. So in this process, this is a second step or second stage in the treatment, that is why it is called secondary treatment. And here there's a use of aerobic and anaerobic bacteria, that is why it is a biological process. So now the sludge which we obtain from the primary treatment, the sludge is transferred to a separate tank where anaerobic bacteria acts on it and convert it into methane, carbon dioxide and humus like material. So this process is called digestion. When the sludge is transferred to a tank where anaerobic bacteria is present, so anaerobic bacteria will act on that sludge and convert that sludge into methane, carbon dioxide and humus like materials, and this process is called digestion. So digested sludge is dried by spreading on the sand beds, and it is used as fertilizers. And yes, in this process biogas is also produced, and that biogas is used as fuel. Then now we work on clarified water. So air is passed or pumped into the clarified water. Now the image you can see, this is the aeration tank. So water is passed in the aeration tank where air is passed, and aerobic bacteria, they grow in the presence of air and they consume the remaining waste. Means if in the clarified water obviously some dissolved and suspended waste are present in that, so aerobic bacteria will work, it will consume the remaining waste, and the suspended microorganisms which settle at the bottom, means the suspended organic matter which is present in the clarified water, aerobic bacteria will work on that, they will consume that materials, and again they will suspend in the water and they will settle at the bottom, and they're called as activated sludge. Now the activated sludge has lot of water which is removed from the top by sand drying beds or machines, and now the sludge obtained, that sludge is dried and it is used as manure. And the water that we have got, that treated water, now it contains very low percentage of organic and suspended matter. Means at this time also it is not so fresh, but yes, it contains very low percentage, it contains very low amount of organic and suspended matter, and at this stage it can be discharged into water bodies also or in the ground also. But and in this case also, this water is not fit for human consumption. Okay, so if we want to make it for human consumption, then we have to go through tertiary treatment, that is chemical process. So we know that water that we have purified through aeration tank, it cannot be used for human consumption because still so many dissolved organic and inorganic materials are present. So Again, it is treated by chlorine by adding bleaching powder to the aerated water. Means the aerated water which we have got from aeration tank. Again, it is treated with bleaching powder, and the chlorine which is present in it, it kills the leftover germs which is present in the water, and now the water is fresh and it is fit for drinking. So this is the complete process of wastewater treatment or sewage treatment.